Scrappy is at his breaking point. After everything he's been through, the heartbreak, the betrayals, and the endless drama, it seems like he just can't take it anymore. Fans are in complete shock as disturbing reports emerge that Scrappy may have reached his lowest moment yet. Sources close to the rapper reveal that he's been spiraling ever since Bambi walked out of his life, and now, in a heartbreaking turn of events, he's allegedly attempted to end it all. Whispers of a devastating cry for help have sent shockwaves through the industry. Family members are scrambling, friends are desperate to reach him, and fans are left wondering, how did it come to this? Could this really be the end for Scrappy? And most importantly, will Bambi step in before it's too late? Stay tuned, because what we're about to reveal will leave you speechless. Scrappy had always been known for his resilience. No matter how rough things got, he always found a way to push through. But this time, something was different. This time, the pain seemed unbearable. The weight of his heartbreak, the betrayal, and the loneliness had finally caught up to him. And now, sources close to the rapper reveal that he may have done the unthinkable. It all started when Bambi, the love of his life, walked away. Their relationship had been a whirlwind of passion, fights, and makeups. But this time, the breakup felt permanent. And Scrappy, he wasn't handling it well. Friends noticed the shift in his behavior. His usual vibrant energy had dimmed. His social media went unusually quiet, and his once lively presence had been replaced with cryptic messages that hinted at his deep emotional turmoil. "I just don't know how to move forward," Scrappy reportedly told a close friend during a late-night conversation. "Everything feels empty without her. Nothing makes sense anymore." Fans began speculating something was off when he posted a series of Instagram stories, each one darker than the last. One particular post caught everyone's attention, a black screen with the words, "What's the point of it all?" written in white. Within minutes, his followers flooded his DMs with messages of support, urging him to stay strong. But little did they know, things were far worse than they could have imagined. The people closest to Scrappy knew he was struggling, but no one realized just how deep his pain ran. Over the past few weeks, his behavior had grown increasingly erratic. He stopped showing up for studio sessions, missed important meetings, and even ghosted some of his closest friends. But the biggest red flag, he started drinking heavily, something he had once sworn he would never do again. One of his longtime friends, who wished to remain anonymous, described the moment they knew something was terribly wrong. "I went to check on him, and man, I didn't recognize him. His house was a mess, bottles everywhere, blinds shut tight like he didn't want to see the light of day. And the way he was talking, it scared me. He kept saying, 'I don't think I can do this anymore. I'm tired, bro. I just want this pain to stop.' I tried to get him out of that mindset, but I could see it in his eyes. He wasn't okay." As the days passed, his family grew increasingly worried. His mother, Mama D, was one of the first to publicly acknowledge that something was seriously wrong. In a heartbreaking Instagram live session, she pleaded with fans to send their prayers. "Y'all, I need y'all to lift my baby up. I don't know what's going on, but he ain't himself. I ain't never seen him this low before. I'm scared for him, real scared." Then came the night that changed everything. Reports suggest that on a quiet evening, Scrappy locked himself inside his house, refusing to answer calls or texts. His closest friends, sensing something was horribly wrong, drove to his home, banging on the door for him to let them in. But there was no response. After what felt like an eternity, one of them made the difficult decision to call for help. "We didn't know what else to do. We were yelling his name, banging on the door, but it was just silent inside. I swear, I felt like my heart was about to explode. We had no idea what was happening behind those walls." When authorities and paramedics arrived, they forced their way inside, and what they found left everyone shaken. Scrappy was unconscious, his body limp on the floor. Pills were scattered around him, a bottle of liquor overturned on the table. It was clear, this was a desperate cry for help. Medics quickly began working to stabilize him, while his friends stood frozen, tears in their eyes. "It didn't feel real," one of them later confessed. We kept calling his name, hoping he'd open his eyes. We were just praying he'd make it. As they rushed him to the hospital, the news broke like wildfire. Social media exploded with concerned fans, sending messages of love and support, hoping, praying that this wasn't the end for Scrappy. But the real question remained, would he make it? And if he did, would this finally be the wake-up call he needed? While Scrappy was rushed into emergency care, details of what had led to this tragic night started to surface. Friends close to him revealed that he had been spiraling for weeks, but no one had realized just how far gone he was. One source mentioned he was drowning in his thoughts. Every day, he would talk about how he felt like a failure, like he wasn't enough. And no matter what we told him, it was like he couldn't hear us. His mind was already made up. Doctors worked tirelessly to stabilize him, but the situation was critical. Reports suggested that he had ingested a dangerous combination of substances, making it a race against time. Every second counted, and for his loved ones, those moments felt like an eternity. Mama D was seen arriving at the hospital, visibly distressed, pleading with the medical staff for updates on her son's condition. Today's emotional story leaves a big question. Will Scrappy truly be able to start a new chapter in his life? Can he find a way to live without Bambi? Or will his heart always be stuck in this pain? Fans are still anxious about the whole situation, and social media is flooded with prayers and support for him. What do you think? Will Scrappy find the strength to move forward, or is there still hope for him and Bambi to reunite? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to stay updated on all the latest drama, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a story. Meanwhile, the news had reached Bambi, and sources claimed she was devastated. Despite their rocky history, she had never wanted this for Scrappy. She was in complete shock. An insider revealed she may not have been with him anymore, but that doesn't mean she stopped caring. She felt guilty, like maybe if she had handled things differently, he wouldn't have reached this point. Fans, too, were shaken to their core. Messages of concern flooded social media, with hashtags like #PrayForScrappy trending nationwide. Some celebrities even took to their platforms to express their sadness and send their support. Mental health is real, y'all. We gotta check in on our people. Praying for Scrappy right now, one well-known rapper tweeted. But while the world waited for updates inside the hospital, it was a fight for survival. Doctors were doing everything in their power, but they made it clear the next few hours were critical. If Scrappy pulled through, he would have a long road to recovery ahead. But if he didn't, the world would be saying goodbye to yet another beloved star far too soon. As dawn broke, the tension in the waiting room was unbearable. Every minute felt like a lifetime. His friends, his family, his fans, everyone was holding their breath, waiting, hoping, praying. Would Scrappy wake up? Or was this truly the end? Sput track of his vitals. His mother, Mama D, sat by his bedside, gripping his hand. Scrappy lay in the hospital bed, his body weak, his mind clouded with pain and regret. The room was eerily silent, except for the rhythmic beeping of the monitors that kid tightly as if afraid that letting go would mean losing him forever. Her prayers had been endless, her heart shattered at the sight of her son in such a fragile state. But even as she whispered words of comfort, she knew that this battle was far from over. The world outside the hospital had erupted in chaos. News of Scrappy's suicide attempt had spread like wildfire. Fans, celebrities, and fellow artists had taken to social media, flooding the internet with messages of concern, support, and speculation. "We love you, Scrappy. Stay strong." One post read. Another was more accusatory. Where was Bambi when he needed her the most? The blame game had begun, and fingers were pointing in every direction. Bambi, herself, had been caught in the storm. Reporters hounded her. Her phone buzzed nonstop with calls and messages. People wanted to know if she had spoken to Scrappy before the incident, if she had any idea how deeply he was suffering. But Bambi remained silent, refusing to be dragged into the chaos. Deep down, She was struggling with her own emotions. Guilt gnawed at her. Had she pushed him too far? Had she been too cold in their last conversation? The thought haunted her, but she knew she couldn't undo the past. Meanwhile, Scrappy drifted in and out of consciousness, his mind trapped in a whirlwind of memories. He saw flashes of his life with Bambi, the laughter, the arguments, the love that once burned so brightly but had now turned to ashes. He saw Mama D's worried face, Diamond's panicked expression when she found him, the paramedics rushing to save him. And then he saw darkness, a deep abyss that threatened to swallow him whole. Hours turned into days, and slowly, Scrappy began to regain his strength. But the emotional scars were far deeper than the physical ones. A therapist was brought in, urging him to open up about his feelings, to confront the pain that had nearly consumed him. At first, he resisted, brushing off the questions with forced laughter and empty reassurances. "I'm good, man. Just a rough patch." But Mama D wasn't fooled. She had seen her son at his lowest, and she knew that pretending wouldn't heal him. "Baby, you gotta let it out," she urged. "You can't keep holding all that pain inside. It'll eat you up." Scrappy sighed, his eyes glassy with unshed tears. I don't know how to do this without her, Mama. Every day feels empty, like I'm just going through the motions." Mama D stroked his hand gently. "I know it hurts, baby, but you gotta find a way to live for yourself. Not for Bambi, not for anyone else, just for you." The words lingered in the air, heavy with truth. Scrappy knew she was right, but knowing and feeling were two different things. Still, something in her voice gave him a sliver of hope, a tiny flicker of light in the darkness. As the days passed, more visitors came to see him. His close friends, industry peers, even people he hadn't spoken to in years reached out. They all had the same message. "We need you here, Scrappy. You matter." But the biggest surprise came when Bambi finally walked through the hospital doors. The room fell silent as she stepped inside, her expression unreadable. Scrappy's heart pounded in his chest as their eyes met. He had dreamed of this moment, imagined 1,000 different scenarios of what he would say if he ever saw her again. But now that she was here, words failed him. Bambi took a deep breath before speaking. "Scrappy, I never wanted this for you." His voice was hoarse when he responded. "Then why does it feel like you did?" His words carried years of hurt, love, and longing. She hesitated, then sat beside him. "I thought we were doing what was best for both of us, but I never meant for you to feel like this. I never meant for you to." Her voice broke, and she looked away, blinking back tears. Scrappy clenched his fists, his emotions a tangled mess of anger, sorrow, and yearning. "Then why did you leave me? Why did you let me go if you knew I couldn't live without you?" Bambi sighed, looking down. "Because love isn't supposed to be toxic, Scrappy. We were hurting each other, and I didn't know how to fix it." Her words hit him like a punch to the gut. He wanted to argue, to tell her she was wrong, that they could have found a way. But deep down, he knew she was right. Their love had been passionate, but it had also been destructive. For a long moment, neither of them spoke. The air between them was thick with unspoken words, unfinished conversations, and a history too complicated to untangle in a single night. Finally, Bambi reached out, her fingers lightly brushing against his. "I don't know what happens next, but I do know one thing. You don't get to give up, Scrappy. You don't get to leave like this. You are loved. You are needed." Scrappy swallowed hard, his vision blurred by tears. "Then why does it still hurt so damn much?" Bambi squeezed his hand gently. "Because healing takes time, and you have to let yourself heal." As she stood up to leave, Scrappy felt something shift inside him. Maybe it was closure, maybe it was acceptance, or maybe, just maybe, it was the beginning of a new chapter, one where he learned to live for himself, even if it meant learning how to do it without her. As the door closed behind her, Scrappy exhaled deeply, the weight on his chest a little lighter than before. He wasn't okay yet, but for the first time in a long time, he believed that maybe one day he could be. Scrappy sat in his dimly lit room, the weight of his emotions pressing down on him like a crushing force. His phone buzzed constantly, messages pouring in from friends, family, and fans. Everyone worried, everyone asking questions. But none of them understood. None of them could feel the emptiness that had consumed him since Bambi left. The once lively Scrappy, known for his energy and charisma, now stared blankly at the walls, drowning in memories of the love he had lost. Mama D had tried everything. She had called, she had visited, she had even forced Scrappy to sit down and talk about his feelings, but nothing seemed to break through his pain. The thought of Bambi moving on, living her life without him, tore him apart piece by piece. He had been a fighter all his life, battling obstacles, facing challenges head-on, but this was different. This wasn't a battle he knew how to win. The rumors started circulating when Scrappy posted a cryptic message on his social media. Sometimes the pain is just too much. The internet erupted, fans speculating, friends reaching out, everyone. That Scrappy had been struggling with deep depression, that the reality of the situation became clear. In the dead of night, Scrappy made a call to none other than Bambi. His voice trembled as he spoke, his emotions raw and unfiltered. "I don't know how to do this without you," he admitted, his heart pounding in his chest. But Bambi, though sympathetic, remained firm. "Scrappy, we can't keep doing this. You need to find your peace, and I need to find mine." The call ended, and Scrappy sat there, holding his phone, his hands shaking. He felt lost, broken beyond repair. That was the moment he made a decision, one that would send shockwaves through everyone who cared about him. The next morning, Scrappy's close friend and fellow rapper Diamond arrived at his home after receiving a series of concerning texts.